What's up, guys? Hey, so I got nominated by Palmer Professional Services to do this thing called the Positivity Challenge. And to be honest, I don't really know what it is, but from his video that I watched, it sounds like just kind of introducing myself, maybe going a little bit deeper into who I am and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to nominate two people, Austin Taylor and Luke the window cleaner. If you guys have not done this yet, then I nominate you to do it next. So, hey, a little side note, me and Luke the window cleaner this Sunday are going to be doing a video together. It's not going to be put out for at least a month or so. Who knows? It may not even make it to YouTube if it's a bust. We don't really know how it's going to turn out, but something to look forward to. So, a little bit about myself. I was born and raised, born in Flint, Michigan. You guys probably have heard of that city due to all the water crisis, the crime. When I was pretty young, we actually did move a little bit south of Flint to a town called Fenton. And that's where I grew up. My parents got divorced when I was one. I've lived with my mom, from when I was little to when I moved out eventually. And my dad, and I like to tell the story, and it makes me a little vulnerable, but I think it's encouraging for people out there who've had maybe a rough background or brought up rough. And my dad was an alcoholic, and my entire life he never held a job. I remember in school when we'd have to go around class and say what our parents do, I would always lie and say my dad was a painter, and he wasn't. He did it on the side here and there, but I'd always tell him he owned his own painting company. And growing up, through I got older and learned more kind of about what was, happening with my parents and stuff. And luckily, my mom was super solid. Mom was a nurse, and so we didn't have a ton of money, but we got by. And I was able to, for most of the time, live in a clean house and all that kind of stuff. But when I would be at my dad's house, it was just drinking and him living with his mom and just really, really rough in a rough part of town. I mean, lived in a trailer, and when I say I mean just a nasty, gross, what you'd see on on TV when they're showing inner city things. So that was kind of my bring up. My dad actually passed away when back in 2013. I got a phone call at 6 a.m. on Thanksgiving, and he had died in a car accident, and obviously he was drinking, and we don't really know what happened because nobody stopped to help him or anything. But the police said it involved alcohol and high speeds, which was weird for my dad because he was the slowest driver and used to drive us all crazy. But regardless, that was kind of my upbringing as a kid. As far as my parents go in school, I was a terrible student. And I'm not saying this because it's like the cool entrepreneur thing to say, but I literally graduated with a 1.7 GPA. I had a ton of teachers tell my mom all the way from the third grade on that, hey, if your kid doesn't get his stuff together, he's going to grow up, he's going to be a failure, he's going to lead people down the wrong roads. Like, those things were literally said to me and my mom about my school career. And luckily I had two teachers at school that really believed in me and knew that education, college, that wasn't going to be my future, but really saw what I was made to do. And those two people really got me through school, got my diploma, and I moved on. After that, when I was 18, I was just getting out of high school. I started a lawn care business. I guess I was still kind of in school, but I started a lawn care business. I worked for a guy for a couple months, and I was just seeing what he was doing, and I realized, hey, I can do this, and I can do it better. So I took out a loan, I bought a new truck, I bought a mower, all this crazy stuff. I was scared to death. My first year, I was doing over 50 yards a week. And I was literally hiring people that I went to school with to help me because I couldn't do it all myself. And that was like my first taste of entrepreneur, business, whatever you want to call it. After that, I sold all my accounts. I sold my equipment a couple years later, and I went and I did an internship at my church. And actually, during that time, I did go to Bible college, and I got my degree. So technically I could be a pastor at a church, I guess you could say. Never would be after after going through that. I recognized that wasn't my gift and that wasn't what I was called to do. but I have the credentials to do it. So it's kind of cool. What else can I tell you guys about? After that, I got my real estate license. Still have it. Never really did anything with it. Just always thought it'd be kind of cool to have. I did help some people buy and sell a few houses here and there, but other than that, never really did much with it. And that's where I started the Dirt Hunter. It was back in 2013 ish, and here we are today. So 4 years in. My first year in business, we did 42,000. This year, we'll do close to $500,000, and it's not me bragging. It's just showing that a guy with a 1.7 GPA, with a broken family, with people telling you can't do it, with teachers and family telling you can't do it, you can go do it, and you can do great things. So that's a little bit about me. I hope that's encouraging. I hope it's positive. I didn't tell you the dark side of my life to be negative. I just told you the dark side of my life because I want those of you who have dark sides of your lives to know that that doesn't define who you are as a person, and it doesn't limit you to what you can do. You can literally do anything you want to do. You can go head to head with the guy who's had the perfect life. It doesn't matter what you've been through. In fact, sometimes I think that what I've gone through has actually made me a better person in business in many ways. So I nominate Luke the window cleaner, Austin Taylor. You guys get on here, put this out. I know you're busy, but hopefully you'll do it for me. You guys are awesome. Here in the office a little bit early today. I wanted to get this video recorded. I'll upload it later today, and you guys take care. So see ya.